Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to work on the Dakota again. It's Sunday afternoon. I don't know how far I'm going to get. Left work just a little while ago. I finally come in and clearance this thing some more. I'm not going to do anything about filling a hole right now until I know it's for sure good. Once I put the engine in, it's probably staying in, and then I'll fill that. If I happen to have to take it back out, there's enough meat around it. We'll be alright for a while, at least while I figure out the rest of the bugs like suspension, drive shaft, cooling, all the other crap down the road. So hopefully that gets our starter clearance where we need to go. I've got to get the engine off the stand, hang from the chair picker, hunt down the pilot bearing. I think I've got a seal and race driver installer kit. Should work for that, or the right size socket. And I got to clean up the flywheel for the engine. It's got a little rust on it, so I accidentally left it in the back of my truck. I thought I'd got it out, but I did not. So I cleaned up some rust on the surface. Other than that, it looks like a brand new flywheel and clutch. Everything was a pretty low mile. So we'll get to that. I'm gonna permanently mate those, and hopefully permanently mate those and shove it in the truck. Well, let's get to it. It's got a bit of crud in here for there not being anything. So I think we'll take a razor blade to it. I've got another much larger problem. I forgot that I did not have a Dodge clutch alignment tool. I'm going to try to get away with it by snugging up. I've got a Honda one that almost fits the Pilot, I hope. And if I can get close enough, maybe I can leave the clutch just barely grabbing so that I can jimmy the trans in, pull it back out, snug the bolts up, and maybe it lines back up. If not, this will all be for naught, or I'll just put the transmission in after. It's just not a huge deal. Just rather not. Hopefully this fits. Well, looks like it should. I think this is going to go all the way till it bottoms. Going to cause any problems? Shouldn't. That sounds solid. Alright, now we grab the flywheel. Cleaned it up a bit, as good as it's going to get. Alright, there's an old stain where that dowel was, and that dowel. I don't really think it matters. Let's see. Oh yeah, it matters. It can only go on one way. It should be that way. I wish I didn't let it get rusty, but it'll be alright. It's not like it's going to be in there forever. If we get this thing boosted up and running good, we're probably going to outrun what this factory clutch setup can do anyway. Maybe. Because my Challenger made 430 at the tire and 440 foot-pounds or something stock, so I'm sure it could do more than that. Alright, impact to run it in. And now we Google the torque spec. Flywheel boots. Oh, flex plate to engine 70. Flywheel to engine 55. Alright, yeah, you win. 55. Oh, overshot it. 55 right there. Impact. Oh, that one was loose. So must have bapped it just the right amount of times with the impact. Just seems low, but they're not that big, and they are fine thread. Cool. Alright guys, flywheel's on. I attempted to leave the clutch plates loose and get the transmission to kind of spline in and line them up so I could pull it back off and tighten it. I didn't go too far till I gave up on that. I'm just going to order the tool. I did not think about it, and I don't have one. So I'm going to pop this guy back off. I'm going to slap the transmission on because I do want to make sure my starter clearance works, especially now that I'm going to have the transmission back out to get the alignment tool all lined up for final assembly. But at least we can go ahead, get it in there, make sure the transmission crossmember works, starter clearance is good, and everything else. Just no pressure plate and clutch yet. But I'm going to pull this back inside. No, I'm not. I'm going to put this on the engine after pulling this off. That's going back inside. And we're going to set this in because I really want to see how the Holley intake's going to work out and start figuring out other fitment issues. Well, let's get it. Got the transmission mount about to go in. Well, the mount for the mount, and the transmission cross member is in. It's actually lighter than I thought it would be, but it should still give it some structure back from that tube. So we'll get that guy swapped out. And the mount, where's the mount? Ah, there it is. The actual polyurethane part. Voila. And here we go. Hopefully you can see enough. Yeah. Comes with all of its bolts. It bolts just 2 bolt holes on each side, and then it uses this with a spacer. So you gotta get that bolt out of there. Yep. Come on, where you? There you go. One, 2. Comes with new bolts and some aluminum spacers. Looks like they're both the same length, so this should go right back in. Oh, not so damn much. That don't reach. That don't reach and it don't look right. Maybe I'm being an idiot. Yeah, that's not right. What am I doing wrong? Alright, be back with you. Does come with spacers. These short ones. I don't know where those long ones came from now. Maybe they did come in this kit. I don't know. Well, if they didn't come from this kit, I'm not sure where they came from. Oh, there's that one. This one back out. Yeah, it's not even close to the same. Huh. Whatever. And there we go. That's more better. Now we got thread engagement, and it looks right. Maybe there's a difference in the different transmissions, because this one is a TR6060 and you can get an earlier TR6060. This one had a remote shifter. You can get one that is straight in, and maybe that is what the other spacers are for, or they don't go to this at all and I'm just being a chump. Whatever. Alright, just a little closer look. Here's where the spacers go. 2 bolts, 2 bolts, another one up top with another spacer. Alright, now to the cross member. Well, I gotta pull this out. I had that there to keep it off the exhaust because it kept kind of flopping into it. I'm sure there's pieces missing. Oh, I think the factory crossmember had a little holder on top and that tube did not. And the fuel line would sit on the exhaust, which was a no-go. Alright, let me find some tools and get that guy out of there. Battery died in the GoPro, so I just kept on working. We're still at 3 degrees downhill, and if you look at the amount of rake they anticipated, it's probably a little more than 3, maybe not that bad. But look at the amount of spacer. This is their adapter for TR6060. All this stuff is supposed to mate together. I've got it this much higher than they intended, and we're still 3 degrees downhill. So had I left it where they intended for you to have it, this thing would be... And I lowered the engine. I get their kit made it bolt in, but there's no way in hell that's right. But I guess enough people have done it, but we ain't doing it that way. So it's at 3 degrees right now. It's good enough. You can't see a whole lot. Apparently this is a reverse lockout solenoid. To make a block for it, it's just a Welch plug. Pull this off so I can gain a little more clearance there. There's the skip shift solenoid. It's not actually hitting anything, but it comes in the kit, so we'll get rid of this guy. Right now I'm only hitting on a bolt right up here. Only on one side. It will still need some clearancing on that top plate, but I can put a couple bubbles in it. I can also get a lower profile bolt. I don't know what that plate does. If it's just a plate, I could make one out of something thinner, but I could just get a shallower bolt too and dent a little bit and it'd be alright. Maybe give us enough clearance. I'm going to leave this hole where this is poking through. I'm going to leave it alone for now until it's running, until it vibrates like hell. And then I'm going to start trimming around it. I want to cut as little as possible, but still cut enough that it doesn't vibrate. If I pull it back out, maybe I'll cut a 1/4 inch all the way around. Whatever. I just don't want to have to cover up that much hole with a grommet or a boot, whatever I'm going to, not a grommet, a boot, however I'm going to fix it. But it is sitting on the mounts. Yeah. And it is kind of sitting on this mount. I'm just gonna, I mean, those spacers aren't good enough. I will get something. I doubt these little wings really want to handle all that. I probably need to bolt this up and then get another one of these, maybe something a little taller. I looked at moving this thing up because over here we got some room, but over here we're kind of tight. You could move it a little bit, but it's so little it's not worth it. Moving this up will give us a little more room for our downpipe to not stick below the frame, but we'll be okay. That's good enough. I can space that up, that'll work. I want to set the Holley high ram on there now and see what it's going to look like with hood clearance and brake booster, brake master cylinder, all that other crap. So let's try that. Just gotta make sure not to drop any of these in. Cam is in, which means valves are open. So I gotta be very careful from now on not to drop anything down an intake runner, because I might not be able to get it back without reconstructive surgery. I don't want to pull this thing back apart. Da-da-da. We're still very tight on our brake booster. I don't remember who commented about going to a, dang it, what the hell is it called? It was right there. Crap. Not a brake booster, where it uses a hydraulic, the power steering stuff. Damn. I knew it until I went to see it. Hydro Boost. I didn't have to Google it. See, I didn't Google it yet. I remembered. Hydro Boost. And it really slims all this up and makes for better braking. So I think I will look into that, because why not? We're going to go ahead and delete the ABS stuff anyway. Get more crap out from under the hood. I probably could make the ABS work, but we're not going to worry about that. Hopefully I don't have to move my solenoid yet. I got the boost controller from my buddy Jeff. I may still use it. It was kind of handy to adjust on the fly, but if the Holley stuff is capable of controlling it just fine, then we won't worry about that. Alright, plate out of the way. Problems. a solenoid. Even if solenoid not there, still no fit. Drop engine more. Alright. We remove solenoid. Yeah, that's going to be up into it. We're going to have to notch the cowl. Probably no matter what. Step one. Oopsie. Well, we're missing about an inch to get it there, or 3/4 of an inch down. We're not getting 3/4 of an inch down. I'm gonna have to pull the cowl, or pull this piece and see what that looks like in there, because it's gonna need some clearance. Shucks. Man, it would have been up higher and more angled, more into the garbage. Damn. Could almost drop it more, but the more I come down, the better that is. I've still got about an inch, maybe 3/4 to an inch right here. The pan is still above the cross member, but yeah, another 3/4, we got more problems with the exhaust and the starter. So this is just gonna have to be where it is. I'm gonna have to modify the cowl there, which isn't the end of the world. Damn it. Alright, well, you can see how far off we are. About that far, touching right there. By the time this slides back another inch, we're going to be alright. Throttle body will be right here. That's just going to have to make a pretty quick sweep. Won't be too bad. Spacer's about there. Throttle body's only about that tall. It's smaller. Yeah, we'll be fine. Big puzzle. Well, let's try the starter. Well, here's our starter bolted up. I've got maybe a 1/4 inch all the way around. So we're good. If we were gonna drop another 3/4 inch, I'd have to just pretty much wipe this thing all the way out, which I'm not completely against. I have the room here. I can come down a bit more. You can see the oil pan is still above, which is a safe thing. Our angle's pretty much where we want it. Starter fits. I'll put the headers on one more time. Well, decision's made. We're not moving the engine. Starter is good. Headers are good. There's my new upper control arm, possibly, to give us some clearance. If I did anything, I'm running out of meat to slot the factory mounts down, so I don't want to go down anymore. I'd have to modify the engine mounts, and then that would have this header right on the engine mount, cooking the bushing, where we've already moved it pretty far down. We're gonna call this good. I'm gonna get all the plastic crap, get the wiper arms off the cowl so we can look at it. Just want to make sure I have enough room to get to those back bolts when it's installed. Well, I guess you could take it all off as a unit and slide it forward, and then you don't have to, I guess that's the thing, you don't have to be able to get to the back bolts if you can pull the whole manifold forward and then get to them. Alright. Because right now, hood won't close. It's too tall. It's right there. But judging by how far we've got to go, I think we'll be fine by the time I cut the hood out. And where the intake is sitting, the peak is about right here. Now it needs to go another inch back, so hopefully it'll stay under this scoop. It looks like it will. So moving forward, set you on a stand. I'm gonna put my engine lift plate back on this thing and put some rags over it, because if it's gonna stay in the truck, I'm gonna have to put some garbage bags over it to keep the water out of everything. And that thing covers the intake port so I don't knock leaves and dirt and crap into it. So here we go again. Looks like we've got plenty of room to play. Alright, center right there. We've got this arm to contend with, but it looks like where we need to take it isn't going to be a problem. So, I guess we'll pull this back off, set the intake back up here and mark it with a Sharpie. And then we'll take a little extra. Alright, there's one edge, there's the other edge, and there's the top of the flange. We're going to take as much as we can in one cut. It's not going to work out the way I want, but I'm going to try to make... Yeah, it's going to be a pain. I'm going to try to chop it out in one chunk so I can invert it. This arm here, if it becomes a problem, we will just bend it up. Give us a little more clearance. Is it going to be perfect when we do that? No. Do I care? No. So I'm gonna eyeball and chop this guy about right here. I think that might just be just under. Let's see, both sides right there. Arms right there, so we can only get right here. So I've got to bend that no matter what. No matter what I want. So I want to go, because further we go in, the taller it gets, so we need some room. I'm gonna go right there in the middle. Then I'm gonna find a better Sharpie. Yeah, we're gonna go right there. And then we'll cut extra wide because the engine's gotta move. It's gonna move around a bit. With the polyurethane mounts, it shouldn't move too much, but it will move. So that's the plan. We're coming up, we're coming over, we're coming down. To the stand you go. We'll see if I got it on the first shot or not. Got a feeling I didn't cut back far enough, but there's a pinch weld right here that I really don't want to mess with unless I have to. What this is, but it can go away probably. Oh, we've got it. Right there. Right there. Oh, about 3/8 to half an inch to spare. Check bolt alignment. There we go. Something like right there. Front scoot it over just to here. Yeah, I eyeballed the hell out of that cut too. I can see where it walks, so I can trim it a bit more. And I am just under that arm, so I can bend that guy back up and we'll be all right. Let's grab the lid. Yes. Oh, just touching. Damn it, man. So the bolts would clear. Oh, my hair too far back. Holy crap, that's close. Damn it, man. Bend that arm. Arm's got room. I can bend that arm up. It won't really mess with the angle of the dangle too bad on the wiper arm. Damn it. It's lined up with its bolt holes, but it is just touching. So I'm gonna have to cut it up just a little bit more. It looks left and right, we got plenty of room. So I do need to check, see where the fuel rails end. Well, they should be shorter. I have them, I might as well get them out and make sure they're not gonna come out any wider or any higher. But it'll work. Think. But we're good enough front to back. Well, we're in it now. I guess we take another ½ inch. And we definitely plan on bending that arm up if we're going to box that thing back in, which we should, or I should. Back to the stand again. we have it. We should be lined up everywhere. And it gives us just a bit of clearance. I bent this thing thinking I could bend it and just weld it back, but that does not work because of the way this joint works. It's not capable of that much misalignment, so when it swings and it pivots, it just pops itself off. So I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do about that, but I'll figure that out later. Well, that's going to be it for this one, guys. I've still got to repair the lower intake where it was a scratch and dent around one of the O-rings. They dropped it and it mashed it in, so I got to clean it up so the O-ring will seat properly and it won't hold it up off of the O-ring. Also, I'm going to have to make something to fill this, and I'll figure out, I can figure that out later. I've got to fill this hole. Since I had to do multiple cuts, this going back in, absolutely not going to happen. But I can use it for reference for what I did do, so I can make something out of hopefully some sheet metal at work. Bottom should be nice and easy to weld in. This side shouldn't be too bad. I'll just have to notch around all these little guys, stitch it from the inside. I'm not a metalworking guy. I'll do the best I can so that it doesn't leak, and that's gonna be about it. How to fix that wiper? Whatever, doesn't make it move. This is all gonna work. I'm gonna have to cut the hell out of the hood. Throttle body's gonna work out just fine. I have room, and I'm gonna start studying the Hydro Boost thing. So I may do Hydro Boost. I may just get a smaller brake booster off a Grand Cherokee. I'm not against Hydro Boost. Just gotta do some studying. Well, that's gonna be it for this one, guys. The engine hopefully is staying in, so I can just mock up around it from now. I just gotta keep the elements out because giant hole in the hood. Not that it wouldn't leak anyway, but definitely don't want to fill this thing full of water. Well, thanks for watching.